Well, can you walk us through how ranked choice voting works and how it differs from our current voting process?
Yeah, so with ranked choice voting, you're able to register your preferences in order of preference. So 1, 2, and 3, and we rank things in our daily life, whether it's ice cream or which gas station you like to get your gas from. In all facets of life, we rank things. And currently, our system doesn't allow us to express our choices and our preferences that way. You're stuck between one or the other. And we think that voters can express more and have a better representation and have their voices heard with ranked choice voting.
And what are some of the benefits of ranked choice voting, you would say?
The benefits is that you cannot win without a majority. That's the biggest benefit. Oftentimes you see candidates win elections with 20%, 30% of the vote. And this will happen when you have a crowded field. And let's say, the majority of voters actually don't support that. Well, you end up with what the 30% wanted. So you're not able to divide and conquer. You're not allowed to gatekeep. So we know from data and past elections that have happened with ranked choice voting that it allows for minority and women candidates to run like never before and actually win because you're not telling people to wait their turn, because you're not harming, like let's say, we could have a female person as a representative in this seat, but only if there's one person that runs as to hold that constituency. But if there's 2 or 3, that vote will be split, and then it'll go to something else. With ranked choice voting, all 3 women can run. You're not telling people not to run, actually, and you can run and build coalition and have a slate where you're working together, and even working across ideological boundaries, because you're not fighting each other anymore. It's not like a race to the bottom where essentially you have to beat up on the other person to gain support. You actually don't benefit from those types of campaign behaviors with ranked choice voting. So you're actually encouraged to work together. And I think one of the biggest benefits is voter education that happens organically, because now if I'm a voter who participates in every election to the point where I'll have a lawn sign in front of my house saying, hey, I support this candidate. Well, another campaign isn't going to mark me off and say, hey, let's go to the next house, this person's supporting another person. They're going to beeline for that door because they know, hey, here's a person who's engaged. They're learning about the candidates. They support a candidate. Perhaps I can learn what why this voter is supporting this candidate and see if I can get that number 2 vote. So you're still working for that support down the line.
Okay,
yeah.
Excellent. And in terms of other cities that are currently employing ranked choice voting, Cambridge is one of the cities, and they've been doing it for, I think they're one of the longest running cities
Yes.
who've been implementing it. Can you talk about what you've learned from their example and what things you would like to implement in Boston?
Yeah. So they've been using it the longest, and just to go into a little bit of the history with Cambridge, ranked choice voting used to be sort of, I don't want to say the norm, but it was more regular throughout the United States. And this is like back in like the 50s, around like when the Red Scare was happening. And what happened with ranked choice voting is that it worked so well that in certain areas, certain cities, you had sort of socialist, communist kind of folks from the workers' parties, union folks, actually running and winning elections, which to the powerful elite, they're like, oh my goodness, you had people of color, black people, winning seats back in this era, and they wholesale just ran a sort of a fear-mongering campaign on ranked choice voting and got rid of it. They actually used it in more places than just Cambridge and Massachusetts prior to that, but then Cambridge, they actually sued all the way to the Massachusetts State Supreme Judicial Court to be able to keep their local control of how they run their elections, and they wanted to use ranked choice voting, so they've been using it ever since then. And it hasn't changed much from since then when they first instituted it. And the model that they currently use, it's an all-at-large council. They have 9 seats. So it does make it a bit complicated when you have, and I wouldn't say complicated, but it does, it's a lot to look at on a sheet of paper, right?
Right.
Where you have to rank 9 individuals, and then on that same sheet of paper is all the individuals who ran. So sometimes Cambridge City Council elections will have 20 candidates plus.
Wow.
So just imagine what that ballot looks like, and why voters were very keen to ask me about how our proposal would differ from that. And the biggest way that it differs is that we don't have an all at large system. We have district seats, which are single winner, and then our multi-winner seat is our at-large seat, which is 4. So you're never going to be ranking more than 4 people in any given election for the municipal ranked choice voting proposal that we have.
All right, and 4 seems a lot more digestible.
Yes, yes.
So in November 2020, over 50% of Massachusetts voters, unfortunately, they voted against ranked choice voting on the ballot 2 question, but over 60% of Boston voters voted in favor of it. How is ranked choice Boston hoping to move it forward here in the city, given the support?
Yeah, so we look at that as a mandate. So we look at the election data. During the campaign in 2020, we actually collected voter data with volunteers. So we started with a list of about 5,000 folks who are already in our database of folks that we've contacted previously in 2020. And then working with the list of not coalition partners, but community organizations who had expressed support in 2020 and building from there. The other good thing is that we have folks in government who supported it in 2020 who have gone on to go to bigger positions, like when she was Councilor Michelle Wu, now Mayor Michelle Wu, she supported the 2020 question. Andrea Campbell, when she was on the council, she supported it. Now she's Attorney General. We have Maura Healey, when she was Attorney General, she endorsed the question. Now she's governor. So just the support is gotten to a better place. And just looking to build on that support. We worked in the last municipal election cycle to engage with all of our partners, directly with the candidates, but also through our partners, through candidate engagement, being in the community, just making sure we get the candidates on the record as far as, do you support ranked choice voting? Will you support ranked choice voting? And just working with them to give them the information that our coalition, have been expressing that we want ranked choice voting. And our proposal was shaped by our coalition. So from the beginning, we started from the ground up instead of from top down. We believe in sort of working perhaps maybe a bit slower, but more methodically in community and partnership, where we can, be authentic with folks and have that expression where folks, sometimes have concerns, and we're having those tough conversations. And sometimes it's, going back to the same person 2 or 3 times and just explaining and actually we've had a lot of success with that, just through consistent, gentle pressure, just educating folks, just being present in community, and willing to share, learn, listen, more importantly, right? Listen, because sometimes I, have to be quiet.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So listening is very important to the reason we've been successful this time around.
Wonderful. And what's next for Ranked Choice Boston?
Well, for Ranked Choice Boston, I would say filing the home rule petition. That's what's next. So our champions from the outset of our campaign, we have our campaign co-chairs. So I want to shout out Tanisha Sullivan, the president of the Boston NAACP, Rasan Hall, he's the president and CEO of the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts, and then Cheryl Crawford, she's the executive director of Mass Vote. They are our campaign co-chairs. And our champions on the council from the outset have been when she was councilor, Louis Jean, but now council president, Rutzi Louis Jean, as well as Julia Mejia. And they both spoke at our rally when we launched our campaign back in August, and have been enthusiastically supporting it. I would say sort of folks who have emerged as champions for us as well is at-large city councilor Henry Santana. who I've been very impressed with and has really jumped on board as somebody who, has been working with civic engagement with the city and really believes in civic engagement and what voting and fair representation can do. And as well as Enrique Pepin, District Councilor Pepin, he stepped up as well and really helped us push this and support us and meet with us in community and things like that. So it's really exciting to have this new council here supporting. We had a lot of support on the previous council, but on this new council, the support has increased. We actually, we have, I think, one vote increase with this new council.